Hey guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the Kojan Podcast. I'm your host Neil, and today we have with us a very special guest, Soham Pednekar. Hi Soham.
Hi, hello everyone.
So Soham, do you want to kick us off by introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, as Neil mentioned, yeah, I'm Soham. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra, and so currently I am in first year of my BTech degree, which I'm pursuing from IIT Madras in computer science and engineering. And in general, I have always been passionate about anything that is to do with mathematics and allied fields, for example. So in high school, I used to participate in a lot of these contests called olympiads, which are hosted by various agencies in various fields of science and mathematics. And my main interests were, of course, in the mathematics olympiad and the olympiads in some of the associated fields like informatics and linguistics. And naturally, I have this sort of curiosity and uh, I tend to gravitate towards anything that involves, some sort of logical reasoning or some sort of application of logical reasoning and contests that test that and challenge your creativity and stuff like that. So yeah, I have been involved with them since high school days, and I'm looking forward to more challenges in college as well. So yeah, that's about me.
Yeah, super interesting. Um, a lot of things, a lot of tangents we can go off. Uh, let's start with the first thing you mentioned. You're pursuing your computer science engineering at IIT Madras, and
Yes.
and you've definitely gotten a crazy J advanced rank for that. So, do you wanna maybe talk a little about your JE journey and
Sure.
about how the IIT life is?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So JE is JE, as you all might be aware, like it is held in two stages basically, like mains and advanced. Like that's the format. You have to clear mains, and for most of the IITs and most of the degrees, you also need to write advanced and clear advanced. And based on the rank that you get, you can fill in your preferences in the joint seat allocation uh, committee's website, and then they allocate you a seat, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's how J is structured in India, and that is like one of the premier engineering entrances in India. So J is there's a few things about J. One is that the nature of the examination. So it is a PCM exam, right? It tests physics, chemistry, and mathematics at level roughly 11th and 12th standard level. Like all of the topics are essentially uh, I would say like somewhat of a subset or superset, like a little bit off of the normal board
I think
tracks, but they're essentially like covered within the topics that are usually taught in schools as well, like for your course.
right.
However, what sets it apart is like it is an objective exam, and it is the format actually puts you under a lot of time pressure, right?
Sure.
So, for example, if
In
you
my experience,
yeah.
if I would add, I think what sets it apart definitely would also be the fact that it tests your uh, understanding of the concepts rather than
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
just the
definitely. I,
fact
I would
how
also
much you
be,
know.
touching the fact that the nature of the questions is also different, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah. So, yes. So, it is a computational exam in the sense that it is an objective exam. Your answers are either going to be single correct or multiple, like choose amongst the options given, or enter the integer value or the numerical value or stuff like that. So you do have to arrive at a final answer. However, the questions really explore the nuances in the respective subjects, right? The committee that
Right.
sets JEE
Of
advanced
course.
papers, it is comprised of various like professors and members and the various
Yeah.
IITs in India. I believe it's a unified committee, right? And so
So
they really want to test your understanding of uh, the core concepts of the subject. So the questions are really designed to challenge you in that way. And they
right.
are also, I would say, like tricky, like in the sense that you really need to read the question carefully
Definitely, I agree.
for
Yeah.
every question. Yeah.
So maybe you want to talk more about um how you I'd say how you understood the concepts and about your journey about what problems you faced versus and you know more about that.
Right. So the the main problem I would say is okay. So for preparation of JEE, usually like the JEE itself does not prescribe any textbooks or anything like that that you can follow, right? They just list out the syllabus, and for
Yes.
reference you have basically their past papers, and you could sort of study them and get to know what format of questions that are being asked in the exam are, right? So that is basically your main reference. And apart from it, if you're like, for example, in my case, I was enrolled in 11th and 12th in additional coaching as well, which was specifically targeted towards JEE. So the faculty over there also has their own sort of compilation of problems and their own teaching
Right.
methods on how to solve the problems in an efficient manner, and yeah, the stuff like that basically.
Sure.
So that is there. But okay, so from my perspective, what I would say was the main difficulty I faced was that I am not really naturally inclined towards computational examinations. Right,
Mm.
I am more used to the longer subjective examinations where you would have more time per question. You would have to justify your answer and stuff like
Right.
that. So, for example, like the olympiad that I was mentioning earlier,
So
they
let's
usually
talk about that. So you mentioned mathematics and olympiads, and I remember you telling
yeah,
me that you attended IMOTC as well. So
yes.
yeah. So how was that experience? I'm sure it would have been amazing.
Yeah, IMOTC is definitely it's a very enriching experience for various reasons. First of all, it's a physical camp, and like
Exactly.
HBCSE and in association with I believe it's CMI right now, which hosts the camp in Chennai. So they have been conducting it really wonderfully for the past like 2 years, and uh, the in the camp there is a lot of exposure that you get to rigorous mathematics. Let's say that's even beyond the scope of olympiad. So you have a lot of guest lectures and uh, talks and professors coming to the camp from all over India and etc. Like even the past IMO students like who have represented India at the international level or were just a part of the mathematical Olympiad community, they also show up over there and guide you with a lot of things pertaining to mathematics and also mathematical Olympiads and problem solving and this general discussions.
Right.
So yeah, that is there, and also one thing that really sets apart mathematical Olympiads is that it has a really strong community. There's a really strong community that has been built over a span of I believe like around 3 decades since since when India has been participating, and so it's like incremental, right? Because every year new people come in with new ideas, they add to the
Definitely. Definitely.
already vast pool of ideas. So you get access to all of that, and it's a physical camp as well. So there's obviously the cultural aspect of it, wherein you get to meet people from all across India. You get to
Right.
interact. You get to know how their lives are. So it's a really enriching experience. Yeah.
Fascinating how people who are so different can come together and spend almost a month, right? Um,
Yes,
for,
yeah, it's a
for the
month.
love of math. I mean, super
Yeah,
interesting.
that's
Uh,
yeah, really, really
yeah.
fascinating. Yeah.
Before moving on, I just like to uh, congratulate the Indian IMO team. They've ranked seventh this year internationally, and I think we won 2 golds and 4 silvers this year, right? That was like some
Yeah.
exceptional performance this year.
It was amongst our best performance, I believe.
Yeah,
Like this year's
pretty
performance,
crazy.
yeah, and it was definitely it was a really competitive team that India had this year.
Right.
I had the privilege, like because I was at IMOTC, I had the privilege of interacting with some of them
That's wonderful.
personally. Yeah.
So maybe
So
do you
yeah,
want to talk a little? Maybe can you tell us a little about how these interactions were and what you guys spoke about? And you can definitely, you don't have to be generic about it. You can name the jargon. You can explain the jargon. No, nothing hard and fast.
sure. Yeah. So at IMOTC, for example, like if the usual interactions. Okay, so I'd like to go on a slight tangent and just mention some things about CMI.
Hmm.
So at CMI, there is this concept which I find really nice. It's like they have these open, airy, workspaces which are
Yeah,
like positioned on
like
every floor.
they have blackboards everywhere, spread out throughout
Yeah,
the
yeah,
campus.
yeah.
And, yeah.
CMI, there's no shortage of blackboards and chalk. I
Right.
think like they probably have a blackboard to student ratio of greater than one. I mean, yeah, definitely. So that's really it invites you the way CMI has been constructed. It invites you to those discussions, right? The building itself offers a really great atmosphere. So usually, what would happen is that in the initial days of the camp, we would all meet and greet, and then uh, at some point the conversation would like spiral back to math olympiad like problems. And so the general nature of math olympiad is that when you're participating in such contests, it's mainly self-driven problem solving that you do, right, to improve and get better at it, and also like expand your scope in mathematical olympiads. So yeah, so usually most of our conversations would be like we pick a problem and try to solve it.
Mhm.
A problem which so usually we pick a problem which is like a bit harder. People have made attempts at it, and so there's this concept called group solving, right, wherein you
Right.
just sit together. Group solving, or as we know it as G solves, like G being group. So
Right.
we all sit together and just crack at the problem and
Brainstorm.
try to
Yeah.
brainstorm. Yeah. So that you also get to know other people's approach, right, when
Definitely.
you do that. So it's like
Yeah.
a really uh, collaborative thing, and it like mutually benefits everyone who participates. So yeah, so like for example, most of our discussions would be, let's say, like I remember there was, I think this was like after dinner someday, where we picked a geometry problem from the IMO, I believe it was. I think it was some one of the IMOs from 2010s. I don't recall exactly what the problem was,
I see.
but yeah, and then we just like tried to solve it, and everyone pointed out how, like, where they would start from, right? So usually when you have a problem, there is some entry point, right, which you would want to identify. And if it's a tough problem, maybe the entry point is like difficult to discover.
Hmm.
But when you're group solving, you get to listen to what everyone's thinking, like,
Right.
basically. So that really helps you. And okay, there exists this way to approach a
Yeah,
problem like
you
this.
get multiple
Yeah.
entry points, and then uh, I mean, I've experienced this. I was JE prepping myself, and this usually happened in like physics class, where our sir would pose a problem, and then there would be like 3 4 different approaches people would come up with. Um, I'm
Yeah,
happy.
definitely.
I mean, I was even happy to understand how many of them failed, because I feel that is beautiful in its own way, because you get to realize why this doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, the point you made is like really, it's a very important point here, because
Yeah.
you would want to sort of realize and internalize why this approach fails over here. Like, if you truly want to
Right.
understand the mathematics of the problem, so to
Yeah,
speak, right? So yeah, that's definitely even the failing approaches, like having 10 failing approaches on a problem and knowing why each one fails is
yeah.
like
That's more powerful
yeah,
than knowing the solution, I'd say.
yeah, so yeah, exactly, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So yes, it's like that. Sometimes we would also like there are some theoretical aspects, right? Like there's theory that has been built on some, like on a wider class of problems. So we would also discuss that. Like for example, in like Olympiad mathematics, there is this technique which was popularized in like 2015 onwards, I believe, called moving points, right? And
I
so
see.
I remember like us sitting together and discuss, like one of the persons whom I was interacting with, like he had a lot of ideas and a lot of exposure with moving points. So like he was just explaining it to us. So and I was just like I didn't know much about it at that point. So it was like a really enriching thing. So these interactions are like really enriching. Yeah.
Right. So, just for the viewers, everything that we say, like the important parts of it, stuff like moving points for the math
Uh,
enthusiasts, we'll just try to list all of them in the description, so you can find that there, and you all can go visit and check it out yourself. Yeah.
okay.
So, continuing with our IMOTC convo. So, do you want to walk us through a day at IMOTC? Like a regular day? What all do you do?
Yeah, sure. So at IMOTC, you could say like there are two phases, more or less. Uh, as the full form suggesting, it's IMO training camp, but it's also the selection camp for the Indian team, right? So
Right.
there are a few tests that are held. We call them TSTs, like team selection tests, and there are four of them. Each consists of three problems each and 4.5 hours, which is essentially the same format as IMO, right? So those are typically held towards the end of the camp. So the
I see.
whole camp lasts around a month, right? And the first 2 weeks essentially would have no TSTs. You would have certain lectures and certain free days. So the way a day would look like in those days would be something like you'd wake up typically at I don't know, like 7-ish, 7:30, something like that. And then you'd have breakfast in the mess together with your friends or like people whom you have just met. And after breakfast, you would have like a series of lectures all the way up till I'd say I believe the last slot was like 5 or 6. So yeah, you would have like 1.5 hour lectures up till 5 p.m. Of course, with a lunch break in between. And they do serve like refreshments as well, which is quite nice in between the lectures. So
Yeah,
that
I,
is
I
how.
remember CMI serves like uh, super cool fruit juices, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You have
yeah, yeah. They have
watermelon
like
one
they have
day. I
yeah,
don't
watermelon,
lime.
pineapple, Mosambbi. They have like two options usually in every break, and they serve it in every break. It's like
Yeah, so
this is really, yeah.
yeah,
And also considering the fact that usually in May in Chennai is like it's quite
hot.
hot like compared to the rest of India. And people who are coming from, like for example I am from Mumbai, so for me it's like it's still a bit hotter, but it's fine. But like from I guess from interior India, it's like the humidity and the heat is like it's kind
Unbearable.
of
Yeah, fair
yeah.
enough. But like kudos to them, man. They're doing a superb job at whatever they're doing.
Yeah, they did a really good job of hosting this, and the
Right.
food and all the catering aspect is like very nice.
Yeah, the food is so good too. I know, right? So, for
Yeah.
context, I've been to CMI a couple of times. I've been there for this one camp called Ram TP, Raising a Mathematician Training Program in 2023, and I've also been there as like on a one day visit kind of thing. So I'd say one of the best parts. I know CMI is not famous for this, but then I wouldn't be surprised if they would be famous for their food. It's super delicious.
Yeah, canteen, like the mess canteen, whatever, like the catering is like, yeah, it's definitely up
Uh,
there. And also for us, like they used to have ice cream after every lunch, so that there's like cherry on the top. It's like the
So now,
catering
now
was
you're just
really
making people jealous, okay? You,
cool.
yeah.
We also had this night canteen thing, like late hours of the night, like
Oh,
after
nice.
11, I believe. They gave us an allowance as well, like for that. Like that's really cool. Like the food
Insane.
aspect was like unmatched, bro. Like yeah.
Dude, now that you mentioned, night allowances, do you want to, were there any fun incidences or some naughty stuff that you all pulled off,
Oh yeah. Okay.
pranks kind of
So
thing?
I mentioned the schedule up to like 5, right?
Uh-huh.
And then from 5 to 9. So from 5 to 9, there were a couple of things we used to do, right? Either you just chill around with folk, or like you could, like some of them used to go play football or something like that, like after the sun has set a bit, so it's like more bearable.
I see,
And
nice.
so yeah, you have people playing sports, or you could just do math as well along with your friends or by yourself, although most of us would like prefer to be in groups, right? Because the
Hmm.
social part of IMOTC is like what makes it IMOTC.
Of course.
So yeah, that's that. And then usually we would have dinner then by 8:39. And after that, almost everyone would just gather in the computer lab to like play some sort of community games like Mafia, poker, something like that.
Crazy,
So the
man.
computer lab was like our place basically. For 30 days, like we own the place.
Insane.
It's like every like late hours in the night, we would be playing something over there and like creating a bit of noise, I guess. Yeah, I I don't
Yeah.
know if we bothered anyone.
Yeah. Um, to all those people who think, people who like math are just geeks and nerds, trust me, we have like a superb. We all enjoy a lot of different things. Like Soham here himself plays amazing basketball. I really enjoy playing football, and like he said, like we're all open to mafia and poker and games and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty sure I like if you pick anyone from IMOTC and you like make a pie chart of the time spent at IMOTC, like games would be a bigger fraction than math, but okay, like whatever.
uh, I mean, yeah, I think that is also what makes it special. The fact that you get to learn so much while having fun, while enjoying everything,
Yes, yeah,
and
definitely.
especially with that peer group, it's definitely insane.
Yeah. And
I
like
think
by the end, you're just waiting for the next IMOTC.
yeah, fair man.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good time to say like how I know Soham. So we both met at the linguistics Olympiad camp this year. It was
Yes.
my first time. Was it your first time as well?
Yeah, it was my first time as well.
I see, insane. So, so yeah, we met at the Linguistics Olympiad camp at Triple IT Hyderabad, and it was about 10 days long, and we definitely had a blast there. So, if you want to recount any old incidences, something fun.
But yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun playing basketball and just exploring the campus at night,
Yeah,
workspace. Yeah, with like triple
yeah,
IT's equivalent to CMI workspace, they also have like their own workspaces, which has a really nice concept. I really like it. And like we pretty much, I think we were there like almost every night, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all did a lot of things other than linguistics at the linguistics camp. I don't think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
many people even did that. So yeah, but
We
yeah,
were pretty much like watching movies or
yeah, playing
exploring the
games.
juice canteen
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So for the viewers, Soham here uh, got into the linguistics Olympiad team for India. He went to Romania, Bucharest. He represented India at the linguistics Olympiad, at the International Linguistics Olympiad, and he won an honorable mention for India. Super, super, super big congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, how was the? Okay. For the viewers, linguistics Olympiad, as the name suggests, deals with linguistics, and that is definitely related to languages. but you don't need to know any languages for that. I mean, of course, you need to know English, but then, yeah, you don't need to know any other languages. So, um,
Yeah.
there's different aspects about it, like phonology, phonetics. There's stuff related to scripts. There's stuff related to morphologies, which is meanings. And yeah, keeping the jargon aside, if you love logical puzzles, you love solving, you love finding patterns and making connections, then I think you should definitely give Linguistics Olympiad a try. For India, the stage one is conducted, and it's called Panini Linguistics Olympiad, PLO, right? So if you all want to check that out, feel free to definitely do it. Something super interesting. At least do it for the fun of it. Right. So coming back to you, Soham, uh, how was IOL? How was Romania? How was the experience?
Okay, yeah, actually, before that, I would just like to add one more thing. When you talked about the linguistic
Sure.
Olympiads part, logical reasoning, and I would also say cultural appreciation. That's also a huge part of linguistics in general. Like it is mathematics. Uh, there's the computational aspect to it. The problems are mostly structured around the logical bits, but also like you need to be appreciative of cultures, and that is why like this is a really I consider this to be a really special Olympiad in the sense that it really contributes towards preservation of culture, or at least like spreading awareness about various cultures
Right.
around the world. So yeah.
I mean, fun fact.
Okay.
If you guys didn't know, there exist number systems in different cultures where people count using their body parts. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up and then
Yeah.
over to the other side of your body. And I think it's base 27 or so. So you get to learn,
Yeah,
you
like
get, you get to
these
know.
ones usually have bases between 23, 27, something like that.
Yeah, right. So coming back to the
Yeah.
original question, how was IOL? Do you want to hear more
Oh
about that?
yeah, IOL is definitely so like I talked about IMOTC before, right? How it's a camp, how people across like the breadth of the nation they come to one physical place. IOL is basically the same thing, but at or like any international Olympiad in general, basically the same thing, but at an international level. So you could just imagine like the sort of cultural exchange over there. It's like unparalleled. It's a whole different experience. You get to like talk to people from the various parts of the world, how their lives are, how their education system is, uh, just general like general knowledge about their culture and society as well. So it's like it really broadens your horizons and like brings you closer uh, to like global cultures. So the cultural aspect is definitely, it's like it's indescribable. Like I don't think there is any experience that comes close to it. So yeah,
And
that's like
with today's
yeah,
evolving world, I think that's super crucial. Not only the preservation of the culture, but also getting exposed to different ones and uh, appreciating
yes,
them.
yeah,
I think
appreciate.
that's a super great quality that you have, I'd say. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. And also with this Olympiad, like you also get to like explore the host country as well. So usually, like when these countries they usually have like some sort of bidding where they bid to host the Olympiad, and when
I
they get selected, they pour in a lot of effort right into hosting the Olympiad. So you can really, as a participant, you can enjoy the city. They plan excursions as well, so you can explore like various parts of the country, be it natural beauty, be it like man-made structures or theme parks, or basically you can enjoy it with your contingent and also the new friends that you have made over there.
Of course. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
year it was in Romania, and
Yes.
yeah, there's like Romania is a factory for Olympiad kids, man. They're just doing excellently well in all Olympiads, I'd say. But yeah, so I mean, super
Yeah,
good.
I think Olympiads. It's sorry.
Go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Olympiads are, I mean, the tradition is an Eastern European tradition, right? So Romania is pretty much the, uh, you know, how would I say it,
Torch
hometown of
bearer.
Olympiads. In fact, yeah, the
Right.
first IMO is the oldest international Olympiad,
Huh.
right? And the first one was held in 1959 in Brașov, Romania. So that's
I
where
see.
this whole sort of system started, essentially. And then it obviously spread to the Western world as well, and like then all over the world. So yeah.
Interesting. Nice. So, what all did you do at IOL? Like, what activities did you guys have? And can you talk a little about the Olympiad in itself and the group rounds or the fun things?
Yes. So IOL this year was 8 days. So
Mm-hmm.
from 26th July to 2nd August. And
Nice.
the general structure of these Olympiads is like there will be an opening ceremony on the first day, so that would have cultural performances and also just general introduction to the Olympiad. And usually they'll invite all the contingents onto the stage. There'll be photos, and then afterwards you'll be sent back to your hotels, and that's where you stay. Right. So the first day was obviously like the opening ceremony, and then for the IOL, the contest, the individual contest, actually happens on the second day itself.
I see.
So yeah, the format is basically 5 questions and 6 hours. That is the format of IOL.
Right.
So we had that on the second day, and then there is a team contest, right?
Mhm.
And the team contest happens on the fifth day. So that is how this whole thing is structured. And in between, you would have excursions. So for us, they took us to a place called Sinai Valley. It's so the Romania has basically a part of the Carpathian Mountains. So it has lots of like picturesque landscapes over there.
Nice.
And apparently, it also has like Europe's largest bear population or something of that sort. Although we were not fortunate enough to get to see those, but yeah, we traveled along the cable car, and we were at the at 2,000 meters of altitude, and we like took photos and just enjoyed the landscape. So
Crazy.
that was one of the excursion. They also took us to a place called Pelesh Castle. Uh, it's basically like it's a castle essentially, and it has been converted into a museum now. So
I
we
see.
had a guided tour of that, and there was also a trip they arranged to a local water park, which was recently built, I believe. It's like it was a really grand and used water park, so we had a lot of fun over there as well.
Nice. So you had a
So
vast
those were
range of
the
experiences, um, and a crazy amount of fun to sum it all.
yes, essentially. And also, obviously, the rest of the time when we were all in our hotels, especially after the contests are over, you could just interact with the other delegations and, play games or just, chat about uh, your daily lives and stuff like that. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
Maybe you want to share some story or so.
Uh, okay, I mean, well, also, I would like to add one thing that the organization was actually really nice this year.
I
Like,
see.
they also, for us, for example, for all IOL participants and members of the delegation, they had made like there's all surface level public transport in Bucharest was made free for us.
Whoa,
So
that's
we could
insane.
actually like yeah, I mean, this just shows the seriousness with which the government takes like such
Fair,
initiatives, and that is something that's really nice, I believe. Yeah,
definitely.
like and also Europe in general, the cities are like really walkable as well.
Mhm.
So it was just nice to even like explore around the city. We all also like went to a local restaurant, and it was really nice. Yeah.
That's super
Uh,
nice.
one key highlight was like I learned a lot of games from other countries.
Oh,
Like
nice.
usually we have some board games in every country, right, which are like sort of native to the countries. So
Yeah.
that was really like a sort of highlight of those times. And it was really fun, like exploring those and playing those.
Wonderful. Nice. Um, okay, maybe going off a different tangent now. Now that we spoke about the linguistics Olympiad as well, I do remember you mentioning about other Olympiads as well. So, what
Right.
do you want to talk more about that?
Right, yeah. So HBCSE, apart from conducting the mathematical Olympiads, it conducts the science Olympiads,
Mhm.
and for like the selection for the science Olympiads in India. And these are the physics, chemistry, biology, and astronomy Olympiads.
Right.
So
Okay,
I
so this reminds me, Soham here did not take bio. Did you take biology in your 11th, 12th?
no, I did not.
So this guy did not take biology in 11th, 12th, and he still managed to get through the biology Olympiad. And that just blew my mind when I got to know how did you do this? Like, well, and why upon not taking biology were you still so interested in?
I mean, in general, I was really interested with Olympiad biology and like biological sciences in general. I mean, I still am.
I see.
That was definitely one of my main interests. The the way the Indian system is sort of structured, you usually take PCM, and that was pretty much the only reason I took PCM. Right. I mean, if I had the opportunity, I would have no problem, exploring biology as well.
Nice.
So yeah, it was more of like a circumstantial decision I had to make. But yeah, I'm really interested uh, with the like in the biological sciences, and also like the genetics, the ecology aspect,
Right.
and yeah, that's like really fascinating.
So the fact that you say
Also,
genetics,
it is also
sorry.
mathematical in some sense.
Exactly. I was gonna add that only. The fact that you mentioned genetics, I can see the
Yeah,
mathematical correlation there. Do you want to talk a little about
yeah,
how there's math in genetics as well, or in biology?
right. So I mean,
There's this upcoming field of
so
computation
in
biology.
biology,
Oh, I'm sorry. I think there's some lag.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. It's cool now, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. Okay,
So I was just saying,
right. So
especially. Okay, so I was just saying, especially there's this super cool field coming up, um, called computational biology, and that if you really like biology and you like math as well, I think that should be a field or a topic, not a topic, but something you should explore more. Right? I think so. You can tell us a little more about.
yes. So essentially, if you notice this, it's a general trend that has been true across humanity, right? Where mathematics or other mathematicians they develop a tool or they further a theory, right? And then you know when that is done, there are really no practical applications of the same. However, few years down the line, years here meaning decades or perhaps centuries, you would find that those techniques have certain applications in the natural sciences as well, right?
Right.
So now we are at this stage where like we have developed a lot of computational techniques. We know how to handle a lot of data efficiently. There's a lot of statistics and mathematics or and informatics that has been developed, and so application of those methods towards like furthering our knowledge in biology or studying biological systems is essentially what this is all about. So it's like at this intersection point wherein you would have you'd be engaged with a natural system. You'd be doing science on a natural system, but it would involve a lot of mathematics as well. So computational biology and even with linguistics, like there is computational linguistics, and so that is really something that is an very active right now. Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, definitely there's a lot of intersection between fields people conventionally thought were not related. And I think that's the beauty of the fact that, I think that's just an indication that science in itself is evolving, right?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. It was super. It was super nice getting to know you, Soham. Thank you so much. Before we end, there's just three questions I'd like to ask you. What is what
Sure.
is yeah? What is something you're proud of that has been done by the youth? Okay. So
Uh,
let me maybe we'll ask someone to edit this part out because okay, sure. So
okay.
right. Oh man. Right. Thank you so much, Soham. It was lovely having you over. It was super nice getting to know you and all the cool things that you have done. Right. Um, the Koyan podcast, at least as of now, the motto is by the youth, for the youth, from the youth. So I'd just like to ask you three questions before we end. What is something you're
Sure.
proud of that has been done by the youth?
Well, I mean, I would say that uh, the fact that okay, this is kind of an abstract thing rather than one particular concrete thing
Sure, go
that
for
I'm
it.
observing, but
Yeah,
yeah, the fact that due to the internet, how the internet diffusion in India is like it is yeah, like after uh, I mean it is quite prevalent right now. Nowadays almost everyone would have some sort of cellular device with internet connection and access to a web browser and so on and so forth. So the fact that uh, the youth of the country seems to be much more aware about the happenings in and around the world,
right.
as opposed to a time where newspapers were pretty much your only source of information, right? Print
Definitely.
media, which is obviously it's going to be slower and less accessible. I think internet really equalizes, like it puts everyone on the same you know pedestal as
Page.
far as like
Yeah.
accessibility to data is concerned. So yeah, the fact that that the youth is actually using it, and a lot of these resources that you see popping up, just random things, like for example, I am from an olympiad, like I have done olympiads, right, for example. So you'd find a lot of forums just popping up with, and that
Right.
they're basically driven by the youth, right, who are using the
Definitely.
internet to like spread knowledge, disseminate knowledge. And so yeah, that is like really something that I'm proud of, that we are the generation who is going to be capitalizing on uh, this framework that was obviously that was laid by generation that preceded us. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think it just become a little more supportive and yet interconnected as a whole.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Second question. What is an advice you would like to give for the youth?
Okay. I mean, this is a very, it's a very, very vast question.
No, no,
Uh,
something like one or two things that come to the top of your mind. Speak your mind.
yeah, definitely. Okay. So, see, stay curious.
Definitely.
Definitely. Most, wherever you are, like whatever position you are in, whether, whatever stage of education you are at, stay curious about uh, opportunities, because this is a world of opportunities. The world that we live in right now, there's a lot of opportunities in almost every field, in every direction that you go, you'll find opportunities. So yeah, stay curious, definitely. And also I would say, like, uh, channel that curiosity to develop for self development, something like, I would say.
Definitely. Yep, I completely agree. I think not just with respect to academic subjects, opportunities in that way, there's a lot of opportunities in general regarding any and everything that one wants to do, and especially with internet, you have a lot of things accessible to you at your fingertips. So I think one should definitely be
Yes.
curious and
Yeah.
make use of all that. And last question: what is something you expect from the youth?
Hmm. This is a tough one. Uh, I mean, actually, in a lot of times, I have found that the best expectation is to have no expectations because your life is very unpredictable in general, right?
I see.
But
Right.
I mean, I would definitely expect a very, you know, how do I put this? Like a cultural and social revolution to come out of this youth. Like as
Right.
we move from this generation to the next generation, a revolution that uh, brings people together. You know,
Mm.
we put our differences aside and we work towards the collective progress of humanity.
Definitely.
And that would include like that would involve a large body of scientific mathematical contributions from various part of the world,
Right.
uh, and more collaboration in that towards that end basically. So yeah, I mean, I would uh, really be looking forward to a revolution
Inclusivity.
in our minds. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Equality, inclusivity. Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Some really profound words you said there. Definitely. And um, I think a lot of us definitely think this way, and we can definitely see the world at least nudge towards becoming a better place. So yeah,
Yes.
let us all keep trying our best, and that's the end of today's episode. Thank you so much, Soham, for joining us. Uh,
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
yep, our
I'm
pleasure.
like
My
it was a
pleasure.
really really wonderful experience for me, and I'm really privileged to be here. I would like to add.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you guys. This is Neil signing off. Meet you next time with a new guest. Bye bye.
See you guys.